Alright, so this is the review of my OMT MRP CQB16, obviously loose machine tool. I get questions on it, so I'm going to go ahead and do the review of the weapon. So here's the weapon. It's unloaded. I'll go ahead and show you that's cleared. I keep a magazine in it to ensure nothing gets inside of the weapon. So it's cleared. Alright, so the first thing I have on it is the EOTech. My EOTech has bullet drop compensation on it, and it also is MVG compatible for night vision. The 3-time magnifier flip this side. You see how that works out. And if you all haven't seen the bullet drop compensation for the EOTech, let me see if I can see it to the camera. You see it all? Well, apparently you can't see it. It has the circle as its center dot and has a lower dot. The center dot is for 50 yards and 200 yards, and the lower dot is for 500 yards. And they're directly on. I have no problems hitting the human-sized silhouettes with these at any of those yardages at all. 3-time magnifier, I'm sure most of you have seen these things before. Another thing I have on here is the Magpul flip-up sights. Now the end-buzz sights on it, I replaced the front sight. The front sight is tritium. So it's a radioactive gas that glows no matter what, and it's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I love it. It's easy for target acquisition. It's a really great thing to have on there. The other thing that this does let me do is it lets me co-witness. Now what co-witnessing is I can see my iron sights with my EOTech in between. I don't have to take the EOTech off. The EOTech is damaged in any way, and I do have to take off the EOTech. Has a quick release lever on it. So all I do is push it down, throw the lever, and it comes right off. Stick it back on, and it's within I think it's 2 MOA of the EOTech original sighting. I've had no problems on it every time I take it off and put it back on. The other thing that I have on it is the Magpul single point sling attachment. Now this bothers me. The ring really bothers me. What I'm going to wind up doing is I'm going to dip it. So it's going to have a rubber coat on it. It jingles around. Not a big deal when I have my sling on. Just irritates the crap out of me. Also have the Gen 3 tack latch. The good thing about the Gen 3 tack latch, it gives me more purchase area, especially with that 3-time magnifier. So if the weapon's up and I have to do any kind of operation with the weapon system, I can eject my magazine, push it back, the bolt's forward. I can just use the meaty portion of my hand to slam it back. It's easier for me instead of having to pinch it. That's a great thing. Obviously you can see my BAD lever, my battery assist device. I did the custom red on that. And all you got to do on that is you see the little lever right here. You push that lever down and it puts the weapon back in battery. It's a really easy device. I love it a lot. The lower receiver is made by Spikes Tactical. Now Spikes Tactical, I ordered this directly from them. And it has the 6-point collapsible buttstock on it. This Magpul buttstock came with it. I ordered it with it. Has the ergo grip in it. It has a nickel boron trigger assembly. Now nickel boron is like the same thing that we put in the bottom of our mortar tubes in the military. And nothing sticks to it. It's really clean, really crisp. The only thing I did to it is I honed it, so it makes it even more crisp and doesn't have any travel in it. It has the oversized trigger guard in it, so when I'm wearing cold weather gloves, my fingers will fit right into it. If you notice on any of my other videos, I have my my firing finger trigger cut off. So there's no glove in there. It makes it easier for me. I can feel the trigger a lot better. It has ambidextrous safety already on it. Got red, white, and blue for the selector on it. No, it's not automatic. It's semi, but it came like that anyways. It has the anti-walk pins already installed in it. Has the Punisher on it, which I kind of liked. This is my battle numbers on here. It's just so when it's in a rack, I can see what it is and grab it. It's got the Magpul magazines. Now, I really like these magazines. I have had them fail on me once in a while if they're not kept clean. They get a lot dirtier than any GI mag, but they will fail on you if you do not take care of them. I know a lot of people say contrary to that. I've used these things in Iraq and Afghanistan. I've had them fail. That number on there, in case people are wondering, that's my old number for my old M4 in the military. Let's see. You can see ambidextrous on both sides, obviously. The other cool thing about this buttstock is that if I click it down, this comes in. That clicks in and out. What that does is it tightens the buttstock. So right now I have wobble to it. So I can tighten that down and it doesn't wobble, and it tightens down onto the receiver. The other thing I have on here is, well, the 37mm launcher. A lot of guys are just like, that looks cool and everything's not practical. Well, it's practical for what I use it for. They have smoke out of it so you can mark targets, especially when we go out shooting. It has bird bombs, which is just a big flashbang, which are legal in some states. My state it is legal. They also have 25mm firing devices for it, and you can launch aerial illumination flares, parachute flares out of it, and it lights up a pretty good amount of space. How you operate this is you just got the little button here, it slides open, your 25 or your 37mm cartridge, slide it in there, pop it back, and you're ready to go. When you cock the weapon, the cocking lever is on this side. Charge that back. It's kind of heavy on mine because I strengthened the spring in it, and then you're ready to fire at that point. So let me go ahead and take that out. I have obviously the Surefire light attachment. I have no problems operating the Surefire light attachment with my thumb. A lot of guys don't like them there. I have no problems. Also has an NVG filter on it, so if I turn the light on, it will not operate unless you're wearing night vision goggles. And then you can see it, no one else can see it. Flip that open, regular lighting ability. I like that, especially when I'm using night vision goggles. I'll make some vids of that sometime. These are canines. These are barricade blocks right here. So what these do is, as a shooter, if you have to shoot through a window or anything like that, it'll go up right against the jamb and dig into the side jamb of the door, and it makes a lot more stable firing position. I personally like them. It's kind of a whatever thing. It's a lot of people, it looks cool because they're not functional for some people, and I've used them and they work great for me. The other thing that is on here, stock from LMT, is a heavy barrel on it. Now the heavy barrels from LMT are cryogenically frozen, so it goes through a freezing process and it hardens the metal and gets rid of bubbles and whatever. I do notice that this barrel does not heat up as fast as other M4s. Direct impingement, gas piston, it does not heat up that fast. It's really nice. The other thing I do have on it is a Phantom 2 flash hider. It's also cut so that for my training, what I do is if somebody comes around a corner, I can plant this in their chest, and it'll dig in. It's harder for them to knock out. Gives me enough time to identify the threat, plug around to it, back up, and finish my mission. I personally really like these. It does a lot for my muzzle rise because it releases all the gases from the top. As you can see, there's a lot of venting out of the top. No venting out of the bottom. Now, I see a lot of Phantom 2 flash hiders that are copies, and they have venting at the bottom. What that's going to do is it's going to still blow dust down, and it's going to make a signature if you're firing in the prone. It's also going to raise your muzzle, so you don't want venting on the bottom. I've gotten questions for that. Don't want that. Now, to clean this weapon, it's a fairly simple ordeal. I have a really tight system on here. So first thing I do is my gas piston. There's a button right here. I push that in, rotate it over, and my whole gas piston pops out. Now, I have fired this, and just did a quick wipe down, but you can see there's really nothing in it. I fired a couple magazines out of it. It stays extremely clean. I get the gas piston, and then I punch out my pins. Now, this is going to become apparent later on. I'll show you why, but they're really, really tough. Go ahead and open that up. See how that falls out. There's another thing about this, and I'll show you. Popping out the system right here. just like a normal weapon. It all falls out. Now, the one thing about this during normal breakdown assembly is there is no gas rings on it. Absolutely none. It doesn't need it because it doesn't retain any gas. You only have this ring right here, and that's all it's got. The other thing too is, due to my preferences on recoil, this is a fully automatic bolt carrier assembly. It has more mass to it, which reduces my recoil, my felt and perceived recoil. I really like that. You can tell a lot of time because the rim on it, it's a thicker milling, and there's more material down here. Now these little lumps right here are made for anti-rocking, so the bolt doesn't rock inside the system and shred the system up, which is really nice. This is the smoothest firing weapon I've used. The other great thing about the LMT MRP system is it's all one machine billet piece of aluminum. A lot of times you have the forend, and you have the receiver, and then you have the barrel, and then you have the nut. There's none of that. It is one solid billet piece of aluminum. The other great thing is I got the 16-inch barrel right here. If I want the 12-inch barrel, I don't have to change weapons. I don't have to do anything crazy. All I do is I get the specific wrench. Now, LMT will give you this, the torque wrench. Go ahead and attempt to unscrew these. Now, the first screw has to be completely taken out, and sometimes it's kind of a bitch to get out. It's pretty tight in there this time around. There's the first pin. Second pin only needs to be loosened. So I'm going to take it for a couple turns. That should be good. Now the barrel, that's the barrel. That's all you need to do to take this barrel off. If it gets too hot, if you get damage to it, whatever you need to do, it's that simple to take it out. The other thing is that on the feed ramps on here, I polished those feed ramps up. It just makes it so the bolts slide in better. I deburred it, not like there was very many nicks in it in the first place, but it made it a lot better. You can see where I did that process right here. Really easy to do. You get some H compound and a Dremel tool. I might make a video on that. Sticking it back in, just pop it back, just like that. Line it up. Put the piston back in. And that's where you need to make sure that everything's properly aligned. So that piston doesn't line up, you get something like what's going on right now. Everything's lined up. Pop it back over. I put it back on fire. There is a suppress mode on this, so it limits the amount of gas in the system. You can see it right there. I'm not sure if you can see it in the camera, but it says suppress right there. Great phone. So that's that. Now everything's lined up in it. All it is just tightening it back down. I'm just going to tighten it back a little bit, and I'm going to complete it after the video. I'm not going to spend too much time on that. So like I said, the the fully automatic bolt in this thing, it does assist me in recoil reduction. And some other things I put in it for recoil reduction, I'll get the rest of that later, is a T22 heavy buffer. This is made by Spikes Tactical. So inside of it, it's got tungsten powder. I'm not sure if you can hear that. A lot of people, what they do is when they weight it, they just put a solid weight in there. And what that does is it just makes knock when it comes back. Sometimes it's noticeable, sometimes it's not. This weapon just pushes. That's all it does. It's a really great weapon to fire. Really easy to put back together. It's really easy just to deal with. That nickel boron trigger assembly, you can kind of see it in here. Everything's really nice and clean in it, and that's from Spikes Tactical. I'm sure you can order it from them. but everything is really clean and crisp on this thing. I really haven't done too many custom jobs on the inside of this thing. I do a lot of stuff for everyone else. I really haven't had to work on this too much. That's because I ordered it specifically to my specifications when I ordered the darn thing, so I didn't want to mess with it. Just putting it all back together. There you go. Now, the reason why this thing's so tight, a lot of guys don't like it tight. I like it tight. There is absolutely no movement from the upper and lower receiver. LMT, when they make these, they put a little bit more material right here. There's a little step right there. And what that does is it creates pressure on the lower receiver. So if I just put it together, push it down a little bit, it'll go in, but it's stuck. So what you got to do is you got to really get in on this thing and squeeze it together. And there you go. Now the 37 millimeter, they're really easy to use. They're really easy to make, depending on what you put in it. This is the hole on it. It just uses regular shotgun primers. And then here's the reload on it. These are specifically for bird bombs. If you guys want videos of that, I'll go ahead and try to make a video of it. Just message me in my little box or whatever, and I'll go ahead and get that done. And that is basically it. I'll put some videos up of me firing the weapon, and I'll hand it off to other people, and you guys can go ahead and see what other people think about it, so you're just not hearing it from me. I personally like it, and you'll be able to hear some other people say some stuff about it. I know on YouTube a lot of people are like, I like my rifle, I like my rifle. Well, a lot of times that's biased opinion. I'm going to try and give you an unbiased opinion about this weapon system so you can see how other people view it, not just me. I'll try and get that up as soon as possible. And yeah, until next time, keep subscribing, and I'll try and get back to you if you guys message me. Thanks.